everybody, and welcome to Nashua High School South. We are seconds or moments or minutes away from the tip-off of the South Panthers hosting the Bishop Guertin boys basketball team. It is a Friday, January 12th of 2018. I'm John Collins, along with Tom King and Matt Neverett. We just saw the girls' version of the doubleheader.
Right.
Very one-sided, 40-point victory for the BG girls. Tom, expecting a better competition?
I'm expecting
contest?
a better game, but I'm expecting South to be the better team. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I think they've got some experienced players. You know, they've got some guys that we've looked at, John, basketball-wise, you know, that have really kind of come of age for them. You know, and I'm, you know, I haven't seen BG yet, but I just like the way that South has approached their season thus far this year. You know, they've taken it one step at a time, but they've got some good athletes on their team. That's, you know, games that we're familiar with football-wise.
And in just looking at the size, Nashua South with a definite advantage, and you talked about it, Tom, the athleticism. 3 of the starting 5 for Nashua South, all members of the football team, and all big contributing members of the football team.
The big guy, the guy you want to watch
Yeah.
is Richie Mercado. He's the guy. He's not a football player. He's a basketball guy. So he blends everybody together. But also, I think as they go, if Alex Amigo, the point guard, has a good game, watch out for him.
It is a packed gymnasium here at Nashua High South for this Friday night game of Martin Luther King Day weekend of 2018. Atop the New Hampshire Boys Division I basketball standings right now, we have 4 undefeated teams: Londonderry, Winnicott, Exeter, and the team that we're about to watch play, Nashua South. The 4 teams atop the standings right now. Right behind them at a record of 4-1 is Portsmouth, the Clippers, who are the defending champions in New Hampshire Boys Basketball Division I. And right away, we watch an NBA-sized center taking the tip for Nashua South, Matt.
Yeah, Clay Medling, all of 6'9", loses that tip, but it was only because of the bad bounce. And Nashua South, the size, the athleticism, we talked about it, 3 of the starting 5. Big contributing members of the football team in Holland, Agor, and Amigo. Medling and Mercado, the athletes as well, keeping them honest, really, on the offensive side of the ball.
Austin Hisco's 3-point attempt to begin the game, no good. So it's South with the first opportunity to score.
And Hisco, a member of the Bishop Guertin football team, so he's matching them in terms of the athleticism. And we'll have Tom King back talk about some big news from BG football later on.
That's right, good point. Tom King talking about breaking news. Bishop Guertin in need of a new football coach. Apparently they have one. Runner toward the basket. Tom also has some news about the general manager, the new general manager of the Silver Knights, which we also do games here on NashuaETV. Richie Mercado for 3. First basket of the game.
And right away, Nashua South going into the full press, not giving BG anything easy. They were able to grab a couple of offensive rebounds that trip down the court. And already the size and the speed proving themselves to be a factor as Medling a big rebound on a block.
You mentioned that South's undefeated as they begin the game. BG's winless. So they're the decided underdogs as we begin this one with 2 quick baskets by South to take a 5-0 lead.
And Medling, great footwork for the turnaround fadeaway jumper for the big man. So it's been the theme of the broadcast so far, size and speed and the footwork from the big man there.
Yeah, and hitting their shots, something that was not happening early in the girls' game, despite BG girls' big advantage. Guertin's boys team also a little bit cold with the shooting early. Kyle Fisher, number 12, passed it to Tommy Fontanella. He gives it off, and that's a basket for John Begley in the paint.
And going right at the big man for Nashua South, no fear, and it gets the Cardinals on the board for the first time.
You know, being this old and watching so many basketball games over the years, you get flashbacks to who's that remind me of? That reminded me of Dave Cowens, who was a big muscular center who wore green for the Celtics for many years. And he would thunder through the paint and throw those layups up off the glass. And tremendous Celtics Hall of Famer, Dave Cowens. He might even be the NBA Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. But that's who John Begley reminds me of. Doesn't get that roll though. Begley again thundering through the middle. No basket. And off the glass and no good. Something you couldn't tell when you watched Celtics games back in the old days on my black and white TV. Dave Cowens was a redhead. I didn't know that till I actually went to a Celtics game.
Was that back when you would ride your dinosaur to school?
Yeah, Boston Latin is where I went. And
oh, so you saw a lot of good basketball.
Oh yeah, I saw Patrick Ewing as a freshman for Cambridge Rindge in Latin play against my team, Boston Latin, at the Boston Garden. 1978, I think it was.
Late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s. Yeah. So, but yeah, Dave Cowens was the Celtics center back in the late 70s, and John Begley actually reminds him of, although he's got dark hair, he's not a redhead. Begley has it. He throws it up ahead to Tommy Fontanella. And actually, if you're a guy like Begley, you could probably watch YouTube videos of Cowens and say, you know what? I could model my game after him because of the similarities in athleticism. And,
you know, another comparison while we're comparing guys for Clay Medling, for Nashua South, shades of Kevin Durant. We've seen it early.
Yeah, I
see
it.
The size, he's got the length, he's got the Slim Reaper moniker, not a lot of girth to him.
Slim Reaper, I hadn't heard that one. That's great.
That's one of my favorite NBA nicknames. Nice pass.
Oh, great feed, and it yields a Tommy Fontanella basket. Do you have the assist on that? Did you see who dished it?
That was Begley. That was your guy.
Begley. That was my guy.
That was your guy.
Yeah, and Cowens was a great guy for assists too. There's a fast break and a pickpocket steal. Kyle Fisher goes the distance. So 7-6. South is in the lead, but BG making a game of it with they're 0-4, and you would never know it at this point in the game, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, they are able to get some momentum, bring the score back to within 1. For Nashua South, they can get big leads and hold on to them. So for Bishop Guertin, it's just going to be about keeping pace. Stay within 5 or 6 points, keep it at single digits, and then they're going to be able to take advantage of miscues like we see right there from Nashua South, especially late. So it's going to be at the half. That'll be about where we can decide what direction this game is going to take, because I don't think early on we're going to see too many runs from either side.
In the paint, what a play. Austin Hisco for 2. Seesaw battle right now. Bishop Guertin is in the lead, but not for long. A basket on the other end by Tyler Bernard as he goes right to the glass. 9-8. South on top. Here comes Bishop Guertin off the glass and in. Tremendous play, switching hands. Tommy Fontanella.
For Nashua South now having to keep pace because Bishop Guertin has really seized most of the momentum going back and forth. They're going to need to slow things down, and Sean Holland, an unforced error on the turnover there, not able to find a man to pass to. And this is big for Bishop Guertin. If they can get this kind of a lead and force Nashua South to play from behind at their home court, that would be a big advantage for sure.
That's okay when you're scrambling in the pocket for Sean Holland, but That qualifies as a travel here on the hard court. So Guertin with the lead by 1. Begley can't make it go. Richie Mercado, who had that game-opening three-pointer and hasn't been heard from since then, trying to go the distance. He gets double-teamed and the ball taken away. The Cardinals trying to add to their lead, and an offensive foul.
And a great job getting the feet set from Sean Holland. Really makes up for the travel.
Yeah.
Just able to get down outside that restricted area if this was an NBA court, but able to just get down, and a heads-up play from the senior. This is a team for Nashua South that is laden with seniors. 9 graduating members of the class after this season.
Yeah, that's roughing the quarterback, I believe.
It's a foul in both sports.
Yeah, and it was, like you said, a heads-up play by a savvy player in Sean Holland. Mercado's open, he'll take it. Can't make it. Begley rebound, rips it down. Here comes BG on the fast break. Kyle Fisher on the wing. Austin Hisco dishes it back, in and out. Tommy Fontanella nearly brought the house down. Hisco's got it. He's gonna try it for 3, and he makes it! Austin Hisco, timeout South.
And that's a good call there, as this is the biggest lead for either side in the game. And for Nashua South, you know, in the huddle, you got to tell them, slow the pace down. Bishop Guertin, when they get the ball, they're firing down the court on all cylinders. You cannot match that for a whole game, especially at home. You're going to need to slow things down if you're the Panthers, get a set place, get something generated, and we saw it in the girls' game. They were all bunched together, especially in the middle, and we're seeing the same thing from the boys' team here. They're going to need to slow it down, space it out, and run their offense. They have not been able to really get into their offense and have any semblance of momentum.
That is Matt Never, and I'm John Collins, along with Tom King, our cameraman Pete Johnson, giving you a good look at the South huddle. And now, as we swing it around to the center of the court, where the teams will resume battle. A surprising start to this one, in that BG was winless, the boys basketball team coming in. South with a 3-0 record, undefeated, and yet BG starting off on a mission here to show that they are very much able to play with his team, and they steal one away. Newly into the game, Giannis Nantenji with the steal. Begley with the pass underneath and kicking it back out. Austin Hisco's open. Can't hit it though. That would have been a big one. It would have been a 7-point lead had he made that one. Mercado's got it, slowing it down a little bit.
Got to call a play here. Get a pick.
Desperation. Ball fought for. BG with it. Out of bounds, off of South.
And a good job there from Tyler Bernard, freshly into the game, one of the 9 seniors, to stay with the play, just get a hand in there and slow that momentum, because Bishop Guertin, when they get the ball, like I said, they're running right at the basket, and Nashua South has not had many answers here early on.
So Austin Hisco will take a breather, and it's Andrew Lucier, a burly 6'1" freshman. The freshman forward is in the game, and he's got it right now, and he'll shoot it, and he hits it. Lucier off the bench for 3, a 7-point lead for the Cardinals.
This BG varsity squad is a little bit different in their makeup. They have 3 freshmen on the team.
Alex Amigo for 3, answers back.
And there we go, getting into that full court press after a make, you're able to slow things up for the Cardinals offensively.
Begley with it, outside, in the corner. Nantenji kicks it over to Lucier. He didn't want to try his luck again, I guess, from 3-point territory. Driving baseline off the glass and in. Nice play, Sam Mullet.
So this is the young line out there for Bishop Guertin. And Mullet, the sophomore, Lucier, the freshman. Getting things going. This BG team, like you said, winless, but looking towards the future. They have some good young talent.
Sam Mullet from Hudson, who I watched as a youngster playing baseball, shortstop. His dad, Doug Mullet. Great guy, and great to see his son out here making an impact for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. As he hit the shot. 18-12 is the score. A 6-point advantage for the visitors of Bishop Guertin. On a foggy Friday, looking for some clarity, or at least an open look. South gets swarmed on defense, and just as I speak, Great individual effort by Tyler Bernard. That's TB 24.
And a great job there, Raz Alcalay, setting the feet. That's 2 charges now committed by Bishop Guertin. Definitely a point of emphasis in practice coming into the game for sure for the Panthers.
Mini momentum swing here now as South trailing by 7 points, trying to turn things around and even it up again as they get a steal and a basket by Bernard in the backcourt, and then a turnover here on the defensive end. The referee looking to wipe the floor underneath where some bodies hit the deck right underneath the Panther basket.
Yeah, and that was a big boy hitting the ground at Alcalay, 6'5" center. And you look at the roster for these two teams, really made up completely different. Bishop Guertin with just 2 seniors on the team, and for Nashua South with 9. No freshmen on the team and just 1 sophomore for the Purple Panthers. Really the exact opposite of this Cardinal squad.
This first quarter has just flown by. Only 24 seconds left to go, so it's in effect a 24-second clock for South. There's no shot clock in New Hampshire high school basketball. Tyler Bernard, who just had that great steal and a basket, gives it up to Ivan Nantenji. 7 seconds to go. Nantenji's going to drive, throws it up, no good. The tip-in doesn't go. South gets a 3rd chance, a 3rd bite of the apple. It's a basket for Andrew Moody as the buzzer sounds, and it's a 2-point game.
Wow, what a way to finish, and what a way to come back for Nashua South as they started to kind of fall behind, lose some of that early steam that they had generated in their corner. And to finish that quarter down by 2 points, that's got to be a win, especially with the rest because of how fast Bishop Guertin has been playing.
An exciting first quarter of play here at Nashua High School South. 18-16, the favored South Panthers, the hosts, were down as many as 7. They stormed back here in a mini momentum swing. It is 18-16 as we enter the second quarter of play.
And one thing we saw from Nashua South in terms of reacting to the offensive pressure for Bishop Guertin was a lot of substitutions. Guys like Anthony Agor, Raz Alcalay. You know, it's like a hockey. We keep comparing it to other sports, just in and out.
They needed it because Guertin was running him down the floor.
Exactly, yeah. The tempo for BG, I don't know if that's going to be something that they're able to keep up the whole game, but early on in terms of staying close and even leading after a quarter, that's a definite advantage. Nashua South has not been able to generate any kind of an offensive set. They do not have any kind of plays that they've been running. It's been great individual efforts from guys like Amigo, Holland, and at the end, Moody. But they're going to need to slow things up and start setting picks, start getting a little bit more physical on the offensive end for the Purple Panthers.
Yeah, we had a good look there at the huddle for Bishop Guertin, coached by Matt Regan, his assistant John Fisher. So,
John Fisher, former head coach at Bishop Guertin.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, his son's on the team. I believe he's still on the team.
We called his name a few times there in that first quarter. So as we begin the second quarter of play, it will be South basketball. Chance to tie it up. They can score on this possession or even better, get a 3. Clay Medling holding the inbound pass, now dribbles it forward and will give it to Ivan Nantenji.
And Medling was not a guy that we saw a lot of after the first couple of minutes of that first quarter. I expect him to get involved more in the offensive flow.
Speaking of getting people involved, Richie Mercado's open in the left corner, but hasn't had a lot of touches. Bernard is blocked by Begley. Scramble on the floor. We have a jump ball possession arrow. Goes to Bishop Guertin, I believe. No team fouls at all against South in that first quarter.
Yeah, very clean defensive effort, but that was not without physicality.
I don't like that. I'd rather have a couple fouls.
Yeah, wouldn't you? It's an indicator maybe they're not playing tough enough?
Especially on some of those fast break opportunities.
It's an indicator they were beaten down the floor, is what it is.
Begley has it, high post.
Which is a simple way of what Matt just said.
Begley went to drive, he got double teamed, and it looked like Andrew Moody got a hand on the ball, knocked it out of bounds. So Begley will do the inbounding. John Begley, senior forward at 6'3". He's really playing center for the Cardinals so far in this game. Takes it up, top of the key. Austin Hisco has hit a 3 in this game. Going to work, and maybe too fancy on the dribble. Giannis Nantenji gives it up, and Tyler Bernard turns it into a turnover, fast break basket, lay-in.
Nice finish with the left as well.
tied at 18. Begley, baseline, spin move, too much back the other way.
A bit too flashy the last 2 times down the floor for Bishop Guertin.
Yeah, getting away from some of the basics that got them that 7-point lead. Giannis Nintenji with a nice defensive board. 18-18 as Tommy Fontanella goes to the hoop, and he cannot circumvent the 6'9" Clay Medling. They call it a clean block, and South still doesn't have a foul, which that was a pretty intensely contested shot. No foul, but good credit to Medling.
There's really 2 schools of thought. One of them being Tom's, where you want to have that aggressiveness, especially getting beat down the court like you said. But on the other end, if you can get away, at the end of the first half with no fouls, you can have a couple to give at the end.
BG bounce pass intercepted, stepping up for the 3, Sean Holland, no good. Skying for that rebound, his own miss was Holland as he went in and followed it. He looked like Marcus Mariota on the self pass on that.
And that's what happens when you have that size and speed mix. He threw it up, immediately knew it was going to be too long, also helped by the big bounce off the rim, but we know what we're going to get out of Sean Holland. The big turnover there kills a little bit of the momentum. Not a lot of scoring here in the first 2 minutes, just 2 points.
Begley
total.
Begging for somebody to come back for the ball. It turns out to be Austin Hisco. Sam Mullet, Mercado blanketing him. Mercado poked it away from behind. Bounce pass. Maintaining body control, doesn't get the bounce. Mercado pounces on the loose ball, gets fouled. Ahead of the field, Tony Agor nearly lost control.
It's really a test of wills right now. Who can dictate the tempo, who can play the better defense, who can get the most turnovers. It's not really who's hitting the most shots. You know? It's just basically a street fight right now.
Because neither team really, attempting many shots from outside of 16 feet. It's just been about attacking the basket. And, well, the one thing I like out of Nashua South is that they've been able to adjust defensively, and it starts with the offense, but they've been able to slow down Bishop Guertin on their offensive side of the ball.
Right. And you have to do that.
Well, we were stuck at 18. Like that son that never left the basement for 12 years, but now it's 19-18. And Richie Mercado broke it with the free throw. Spin move underneath. We have a foul committed.
There you go, Tom. There's your first foul against the Panthers. But it's like I said, when you don't commit any fouls in the first quarter and it takes you about halfway through the second quarter to get your first team foul, you have some to give. You can get a little bit more aggressive defensively towards the end of the half.
It's the quickness. Guertin's got it. They've got a lot of quickness, and I think it's taken Nashua South
Austin
a little by
Hisco
surprise.
From Steph Curry territory misses. Under control, Holland.
See, when have you seen anybody walking the ball up in this game?
Never.
You haven't at all.
Mercado, Fontanella on him, meddling inside, but Begley forces him outside. Meddling, good defense by Begley.
I want to post him up.
Yeah.
I think he can dominate it inside if they post him up.
Meddling trying to do too much. He had open teammates there trying to take the look. That's the first shot we've seen from him in over a quarter.
What a pass by Begley. We were right on line to see it, and the basket is good from Austin Hisco. Actually, no, correction, Davis Camacho was the recipient of that great pass from Begley underneath. And he has a chance for a 3-point play and to give the visitors a 2-point lead. That's a forte of Begley's here, finding the open man underneath.
Big man with some nice passing ability.
Yeah. Knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals, playing tight man-to-man defense. Sean Holland, who likes to pass as a quarterback for the team. He'll give up that duty, though, to Tony Agor. Agor to Meddling, to Amigo, looking underneath. Mercado's got an open 3. He'll take it and make it.
And Mercado's the guy. You got to get him going. Get him going, this team is firing on all cylinders when he gets going.
And that was a good effort there from Meddling to set the screen really 3 different times, and Mercado just working around back and forth.
Lucier, who had a 3-pointer from the other side, misses. Amigo does a good job to track that pass down back to Mercado. He Oh, and a little extra shove there at the end. I don't know if the officials saw that. Or I could be wrong. Maybe the player was standing on his foot or something. But Richie Mercado will go to the line.
And now Nashua South matching and even exceeding Bishop Guertin in terms of the tempo here in quarter number 2. Really pushing it down the court. Amigo on that earlier possession almost lost the handle on it running down the court. So able to slow it up and really getting Mercado involved in the offense, which we did not see much of him at all in the first quarter.
True. The game began with almost the equivalent of one fighter that wanted to feel the other fighter out, and Bishop Guertin, the other fighter, being the one that punched South in the mouth there with that strong opening, up by 7. And now, as Matt said, South has been matching and even outpacing the Bishop Guertin tempo in the last few minutes.
Yeah, that's just it. They changed it to their game. They were able to do that. How, I don't know, but they were able to do it.
And it is reflected on the scoreboard. 23-21, the Panthers on top of Guertin. We're playing in the second quarter, a very exciting second quarter and game between these two intra-city rivals. BG moving the ball quickly around the perimeter, not seeing any openings in the interior of the Panther defense right now. Begley flips one into the far corner to Kyle Fisher, number 12. He's got it. Austin Hisco. Begley has not attempted a long-distance shot in this game. Hisco will take it. Rebound, Bishop Guertin. They'll get another chance at it. That shot by Hisco was right on line, but just inches long. Begley with it. And miscommunication there. He thought that Davis Camacho was going to continue baseline, and he stopped.
And it was a good job by Tyler Bernard getting in the face and the body of Fontanella and not allowing him that easy lane down the baseline. He just gave him a little shoulder, and it was enough to disrupt the timing.
Do whatever you can defensively and get away with.
Exactly.
That's the modus operandi.
Oh, and they've done that so far. Only 2 team fouls, and we're under 3.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2.
Alex Amigo, how dare he walk the ball up the floor in this game.
Here's the guy right there, 24, on the wing, Tyler Bernard. I think if Bernard gets going, he really invigorates this team. Mercado finishes things off, but Bernard can really set a pace if he can get going, because he's an emotional type player.
Yeah, I've seen what you mean, and that is remarkable, because considering the level of frenetic activity that you get when South plays North or North plays BG or South plays BG, to stand out as somebody that's a real freak of activity.
Right, exactly.
is saying something, but Tyler Bernard is that kind of player, number 24 there in the middle of your screen, as Richie Mercado will take a shot and make it on the 1-and-1, the front end. And so it is a biggest lead of the game so far for South.
And you mentioned at the end of the first quarter that the tempo was there, the speed, it almost flew by. Now we're going to see things slow down as we approach the end of the first half. Number 1, Nashua South in the bonus, as Bishop Guertin has committed 7 fouls. But also Nashua South, with their only 2 fouls committed, they're going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive defensively with little to no punishment.
Amigo got a hand on it. Fontanella underneath Camacho for 2.
He just slipped behind the coverage, nobody on him, and he was right behind Medling. Nobody home. And Bishop Guertin, like I said at the beginning,
that drives
keeping
Dave
pace.
Nazarol nuts. I'll tell you that right now. That'll drive him nuts.
Baseline drive for South doesn't go. Some frustration visible there from Clay Medling, who had an opportunity to get a basket. It is a 25-23 lead for South.
We said at the beginning, Bishop Guertin doesn't necessarily need to possess the lead at any time until late. As long as they can keep pace, they've got the speed and really the athleticism to
They're more
get
athletic
around.
than I thought.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
They really are.
Yeah, their record certainly didn't indicate it at 0-4 coming into this. Up top, Lucier, timeout, Bishop Guertin.
I needed that timeout.
Yeah.
You and everybody else, Tom. But I think that one was called because they're trying to generate some offense and really penetrate. That's been the biggest difference for BG, is that other than that last time down the court where they found Camacho on a little slip pass, they have not been able to penetrate. And it's one because Medling's been playing significantly more minutes here in quarter number 2, but they've just been passing it around the outside, not a lot of motion underneath. Got to start setting some more screens if you're BG and getting guys open in some space. And for Hisco, keep shooting. I mean, he's taking more shots than anybody in this game. He's only made one of them, but he's had the open looks. That's been the big difference, is that Hisco has taken the open looks that Nashua South is giving him.
Got a good look at the BG huddle there, and on the outskirts was number 33, Sam Mullet, who, Tom, has a nice still shot of Sam Mullet being guarded by Tyler Bernard.
I hope it's still and he's not moving in this picture. You know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be in trouble.
And I was mentioning that Sam Mullet is a Hudson boy who I watched growing up playing shortstop. He's still a active shortstop, I believe, probably for BG's baseball team. Long shot for Camacho off to the right. Sam Mullet with the rebound underneath. Lucier trailing the play. BG desperately trying to get the equalizer, and they do. A chance to lead.
What has impressed me about Guertin,
Sam Mullet going to the line.
What's impressed me about Guertin is, despite maybe a little, just a tinge size differential, they are really holding their own underneath the basket.
They certainly
Fearless.
are. And there was a lot of hustle involved there.
Yeah, and it was on those opportunities, it's about who wants it more. And for Bishop Guertin with 4 players crashing the boards, each one of them wanted the board, and they were not going to be denied. They were not, and now a chance to lead after a make free throw.
So Mullet to take that free throw that gives his team the lead back, 26-25, with just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. A remarkably close game here in a packed South gymnasium. South can't get it to go from underneath. They had a good close-in look. Hisco with it. Fake left went right. Trades with Camacho with some spectacular behind the back dribbling. Hisco pops and hits it. Stops and pops for 2, and it's a 3-point lead for the Cardinals.
And for Hisco, creating his own opportunity, and Alex Amigo doing the same thing, but just too much mustard on the shot.
Yeah.
What they need is they need to settle things down a little bit if they can.
Way off the court is Alex Amigo. Hopefully he's okay. The open shot for Mullet rattles in. Timeout, South.
And a smart call there.
Yeah.
It was 5-on-4 because Amigo was hurt. And
okay, now that it was an official timeout.
For Amigo, I would imagine.
Yeah, not a South timeout, but Amigo's back, and a 5-point lead for Bishop Guertin. So South expending all that energy to come back, take a lead, and saw it evaporate. Bishop Guertin had a 7-point lead in the first quarter. They're up by 5 here in the second quarter with 1:20 left.
Yeah, it's the biggest lead for BG. They led by 4 at one point. And now I think is the time where Nashua South can slow things down. They were successful in the first quarter when they slowed it down. A lot of it had to do with that man right there. Mercado back into the game and making an impact almost immediately.
It was brilliant how he spun that ball off the glass, over the rim and in. 30-27, it's a 1-score game. Hisco creates space and makes the shot.
I'll tell you, he is really making them pay for leaving him alone like that.
Another 5-point lead for BG. Driving Amigo, ran out of room and a teammate to pass to. And nothing but green shirts facing him as he went airborne. Hisco trying to dribble away from Tyler Bernard. Sam Mullet's got it, 30 seconds to go. Bishop Guertin, Hisco in rhythm. Hits.
Wow.
How do you leave him that open? After all the chances he's had, how can you leave him that
Hisco,
open?
say open, wide. Wide open is Austin Hisco. AH 35-27. An awe-inspiring first half for the Cardinals, up by 8. 5 seconds to go. Bernard's turnaround.
Another tip.
A tip by Medling. 2 bites at the apple after the miss. And it's an 8-point lead for the Cardinals.
You thought we'd see an instant replay of the end of the first quarter. Didn't quite happen.
No, it's a biggest lead of the game as we enter halftime. The surprising Bishop Guertin Cardinals. How did they go winless to this point?
They play some good teams.
They must have. John Collins with Tom King and Matt Neverett will have the exciting conclusion to this BG South game from Nashua High South right after this break on NashuaETV.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Welcome back, everybody, to Nashua High School South, where we have a great game going. We just watched the little kids from the Jeff Morin Foundation Basketball League doing battle on the court. Some big cheers when the little guys hit baskets, and big reason for that, this gym is packed to see this game. BG was winless coming in. South had been undefeated, and what an amazing first half it was for BG boys basketball, as they were tied with South 18-18 after one quarter, in which BG had led by 7 at one point. And then Guertin with a great run in that second quarter. They outscored South 27-9 on their home court to take this lead at halftime, 35-27. John Collins with Matt Neverett and Tom King. Matt, were you as surprised as I was about how BG well they played in the first half?
I was, for sure. They definitely are not playing with the tempo and the heart of a winless team. We were talking about it in the pregame. Eyeball test, you would give the game to Nashua South before they even tipped off. You got a winless team against a team that hasn't lost yet. But for Bishop Guertin, they've been able to match Nashua South and even exceed them at times in the speed and the tempo. And that's really been the biggest factor that has given them this lead, and that big run that you mentioned is they were up and down the court a lot faster than Nashua South. They looked gassed at times, really forcing guys to come in and out of the game a lot, not able to get any kind of flow between their starting five, who's back out there on the court to start the second half.
You mentioned, too, when you checked on at the scores table, Austin Hisco had a great first half. Big reason why the Cardinals are up.
Yeah, and he had a couple of big misses as well. He missed a couple of three-pointers. Him and Richie Mercado lead all scorers with 12 points. But for Hisco, it started out where he was getting open looks. By the end of the half, he was creating them for himself.
Well, to have a player on BG matching Richie Mercado for points, 12, one for one. Richie Mercado trying to start off the second half the way he started off the game, and he does. He hits the three.
And when he's been good and making shots and creating chances, that has been when Nashua South has been at their best offensively.
Well, Nintenji passed up a potential layup because Medling was down there, but he hits from the free throw line area.
When you can make shots from the elbow like that with the baby soft touch that Nintenji just showed, you're allowed to pass up those open layups with a 6'9" guy in your face.
So a 7-point lead for Bishop Guertin. Richie Mercado passed up the shot. He tried to pass, and Nintenji was back blanketing Agor, trying to save that. Austin Hisco becomes the 26th cheerleader.
And that time down was a good opportunity for Mercado. That's a shot that you don't want to pass up. He had the athletic advantage over Mullet. He was over top of him and tried to force a pass in there, created the turnover. He was lucky that they didn't make him pay down on the other end.
I just counted. There 20 cheerleaders, so he would have been the 21st.
Quick math.
Agor with a spectacular runner off the glass and in. Tony Agor trying to get South right back into this game. Panthers trailing by 5 now on their home court. Hisco in rhythm. No, he left it short. Mercado skying over Sam Mullet for the rebound.
And Agor covering Hisco. We saw that on the football field. Similar result there.
Mercado protects the ball as he goes through, but it threw him off a little bit, that swipe that somebody took. Amigo back on defense. He intercepted it. Agor with a 3-on-2 for the moment, blocked by Begley.
Putting the lid on it, and for Agor, had a 3-on-1 opportunity, elected to take it himself. I don't know if he saw Medling trailing right behind him. That would have been the pass.
John Begley, the senior center for Bishop Guertin, able to be a wall in there, not commit the foul, and get only a hand on the ball. Nice defensive play. Turnover by South, so it yields a Bishop Guertin possession with no points down that trip down the court for the Panthers. Third quarter action. Austin Hisco, John Begley. Swings into the corner. Sam Mullet is wide open, and he makes South pay. 3 points. 40-point plateau now for the Cardinals. They lead again by 8.
And now for BG, they've got a little bit of a cushion to work with. They can slow the tempo up. I know that's not how they run their offense, but they're able to slow things up if they want to here, and they get a big turnover coming the other way.
And let's see if they pull up. Nope, they don't. They fly to the basket.
Wow.
I'm not happy if I'm Nate Mazerow about that either, because you just didn't play good defense on that run. And Guertin hitting from the outside, it's almost like if you can run the football,
yeah,
you can dictate what you want to do. if you can hit from the outside, you can dictate what you want to do.
My question, Tom, though, is do you focus on that? Is that your point of emphasis on defense? Because then you're giving up a little bit down low. You've got Clay
You're just
Medley
going to
who
have
can
to
take things
play
away.
a tight man-to-man, I think, and really try to match their quickness.
Yeah, you got to play a Bishop Guertin girls tight man-to-man. You know, that kind of defense that we saw in the girls game earlier. You got no breathing room for the offensive players. And as you were mentioning, Tom and Matt, you're mentioning that underneath game for BG, just opening up all kinds of long distance shooting, comfortably open long distance opportunities. So Nate Masserell did call a timeout right after that latest BG basket, gave them their biggest margin of the night, 42-32, a 10-point advantage now as Alex Amigo walks the ball up the court. And that shows you you can't pay any attention to records earlier in the season. Right now it looks like BG is the better team, despite the 0-4 record and South's 3-0 coming in.
And with Medling off the court, it's going to be up to Raz Alcalay to really take over a lot of that pressure on the defensive side, getting involved in the offense here, and this one is a chance for him to get his first points of the game.
Raz Alcalay, 6'5" center. Can't get that first free throw to fall. Lucier comes out, Andrew, and into the game comes Davis Camacho. Surprised he's not a boxer with that name, Davis Camacho. Maybe he is in his spare time.
Hopefully we don't get to see any of that tonight.
Yeah, not tonight, not here. Austin Hisco, a rare breather during a fast-paced game.
And this is what we're going to see more of from Bishop Guertin if they want to hold this lead, is slowing it up, running the set piece on offense, and really swinging it around the end now that Nashua South is in that 3-2 zone.
What ball movement by BG, but maybe one pass too many. Batted ball by Mercado goes right to Hisco. You know you're going good when balls just find you.
And you know how you beat the zone, right? You shoot the lights out from beyond the arc.
Yeah,
that is how you beat any zone. And a timeout here and a smart one as Bishop Guertin not able to get any kind of penetration. And I think a smart move for Nashua South to switch to that 3-2 zone look, switching up the defensive pressure.
Dare him to shoot.
Yeah, dare him to shoot and make them beat you. It's been Hisco who's been missing from outside, generating his own chances. Then you're going to have to find that ancillary score, especially from the outside.
Just educating myself on the Jeff Morin Memorial Scholarship Fund as all the young tykes who are playing the halftime basketball game. There's an annual 5K in Nashua known as Jeff's Run. You can look it up yourself. Nashua Telegraph's got a nice article on Jeff Morin, who is synonymous with youth sports locally. Passed away in 2012.
Figured it'd be Tom giving the Telegraph a shout out.
I wonder if he wrote this. Let me see who wrote this. I don't think Tom wrote
Not
it.
me, no. No, it wasn't me.
No, John Begley was the, I think it was a team effort because there's no byline, but John Begley featuring prominently in the BG lead here of 10 points, 42-32, is out on the court with Sam Mullett, Davis Camacho, Tommy Fontanella, and Austin Hisco are the 5 players for BG. Richie Mercado, Sean Holland, Raz, Alex Amigo, and Tyler Bernard, the 5 players for South. What a rebound by Begley. Can't get the putback, but Mullett does. Sam Mullett.
I would say the biggest advantage other than the tempo for BG is the offensive rebounds. Nashua South has not been able to pull down a lot of their own misses. BG has been doing it with regularity.
Before the shot, Alex Amigo was fouled on the way through the lane. It's going to go against Austin Hisco. Minimal fouls in this game, despite the fast pace and intensity. 2 fouls as a team against Bishop Guertin. That was their second here in the second half. And only 1 as a team against South. Bounce pass inside. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Cardinals. Good defense again underneath, frustrating the South offense. A 12-point lead for Bishop Guertin, and a chance to add to it now with possession.
And I don't know if you can see it down there, Tom, but instead of switching the bonus light or the possession arrow, they have them both lit, and they're just moving a towel back and forth.
Yeah, I see the towel. I know it.
Interesting way to do it. Alex Amigo with a nice interception. And converts, no. It bounces off the rim. Kicked by BG.
Doesn't it feel like the ball's just bouncing green way?
Yeah, like about the last 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, really, I know it.
Hisco's got it. It's one of those nice right now for South. Not to say that can't change as we play here in the latter portion of the third quarter. Fontanella directing traffic. Mercado comes and gets him now. Mullet was open. He's going to go to the basket, and he draws the foul. BG bench and coaching staff like it.
And that's been another big advantage for BG is the bench play. I mean, they've been up since the opening tip, and we have not seen that much from Nashua South. They've got more bodies. They have the potential to be a lot louder on the bench.
So Sam Mullet will shoot free throws here with his team up by 12, a chance to add to it. Let's see who the Cardinals lost to in those first 4 games. They lost to Concord by 9. They lost to Exeter at Exeter by 3. Tough luck loss there. They lost at home to Merrimack by 4. Merrimack's a good team, and at Londonderry, 47-39. Those are teams near the tops of the standings. So good reason why they're 0-4. South's 3 wins came against Pinkerton, Spalding, and at Trinity. South coming off a game in which they scored 88 points. They are nowhere near on pace for that right in this one. And that's a credit to BG's athleticism and determination and just playing good defense. Mercado's going to take a 3, and he's long on the shot. Begley went way up there to get it. Mullet ahead of the field for 2.
Too many easy baskets. There's no doubt about it.
Biggest lead of the game again for the Cardinals, up 14. Foul committed, loose ball foul goes against Hisco.
Hisco, ever the aggressor, taking it to the floor.
Yep, he doesn't argue the call. I think it's only his 2nd foul. Underneath, Begley anticipating with the steal, but South steals it back. Bernard crashing to the glass.
Yeah, you've got to get your players involved.
Need more of that Tyler Bernard.
They sure do. They need more spunk.
Bernard 6 points in the first half. That's his first bucket of half number 2.
Fontanella, Tyler Bernard picks him up. Mullet. And now Hisco with Ivan Nantenji in his face, in his jersey. Hisco goes to the right, goes behind the back, lost it a second, and now Davis Camacho into the corner. John Begley, Mullet, everybody touching the ball on this offensive possession for the Cardinals. Begley slowing it down a little bit. Now he picks up the pace. Another nice pass. Mullet open for 3. Deadly.
Wow.
Sam Mullet having a tremendous game for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. The biggest reason why at this point they're up by 15. Timeout South.
And you have to call the timeout there. The biggest lead of the game, like you said, for either side, just slowing things up. And they've been leaving men wide open. I know that that's not
there's
on.
There's no doubt that when Nate Masrill talks to his team, he's going to just focus on the defensive end.
And there's
no doubt about it.
There's no reason that Medley needs to be covering Mullet on the outside. That's not necessarily on him. But as a team, you have to do a better job of sticking to your assignment. They've been going back and forth between man and zone, and that's the main difference.
Sure.
I would say the main challenge is the difference in the tempo and your movement, especially in the post.
It's just one of those things where the other team hit a couple of outside shots and got into a rhythm and got into a flow and realized, hey, we can win this game. And that's how the team in green has played.
Yeah, they're feeling good
South
right
has
now.
been back on their heels ever since. I even still think that run in the first quarter put South back on their heels, and they still really haven't snapped out of it.
Yeah.
Even though they came back to tie the game.
Right, you expend a lot of energy in the comeback like that.
Right.
And then Tenji with a spectacular lay-in off the glass. He hit the deck. I think it was a good non-call, but a great basket when they really needed one for
Well, that
South.
wasn't Nintenji because he's on Guertin.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 3 for South. It was
Agor. Was it Agor?
No, it's a different Ntenji.
Oh,
it's
different
Ivan.
Ntenji.
Ivan, yeah.
Spelled with a J
Oh,
instead
so
of a
there's
G.
2 of them. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
No,
bad.
Yeah, there's Giannis for Bishop Guertin and
See, the other
Ivan.
player that Nate really wants to get going is Tony Agor. Because he feels that Agor can shoot very well, then he's got a player that they can go to besides Bernard, besides Amigo, besides Mercado.
I wonder if they're brothers.
I don't know.
It's spelled,
Because
it's spelled
one's a
differently.
freshman and one's a senior.
It's spelled differently. This one, the one for Nashua South with a J,
Oh, it is.
and the one for BG with a G. So similar.
Oh, that's true. J and a G. That's
Similar
a
but
giveaway.
different.
Yeah, right. Oh, and right there, it was Ivan losing his footing. Gets right back up, but it's a turnover. Great defense, Richie Mercado. Nice pass to Ivan Ntenji. 2-on-1. Fakes the pass and lays it
There
in.
you go.
South roaring back here.
Get a little bit of a run. That's what you want.
And I was waiting for the alley-oop to Medling. A good setup there, but Ntenji, a smart move to take it himself.
Well, if we thought it took a lot of energy to come back in the first quarter, they're still down by 13, but they are making a dent as they get another turnover with
Right,
some
how are they doing it?
full court pressure.
Defensive
Man-to-man
end.
defense.
And here's the crowd for the first time tonight.
Yeah, weighing in. And BG might be tempted to call a timeout here, but they're going to let him play. Still up by 13. South with the ball. Under a minute to go, third quarter. South trying to make a statement here entering the fourth quarter. Ntenji. Mercado's going to shoot it from Steph Curry distance, and he makes it. Richie Mercado with a huge basket. 10-point game again. Giannis Ntenji lost the handle just for a second. Tommy Fontanella kicks it over to Giannis Ntenji. In and out. Ivan Ntenji. Rebound. Mercado underneath gets fouled. Traveling.
Wow.
Oh.
Mark Cormier calls a travel.
You think maybe the body contact has something to do with the travel? Not according to the official.
Nope.
26 seconds to go, and South benefiting from some tenacious defense underneath. Steal, Tony Agor, nice anticipation, gets fouled. He'll go to the line.
So you get Agor involved, good things happen for that team.
And there's no doubt the athletes for Nashua South individually probably an advantage over Bishop Guertin, but all together, BG putting things together for Nashua South. They're going on this little run, but it seems like it's all about the individual talent.
Yeah. Well, you got some BG players that have logged some major minutes out there right now. John Begley, Sam Mullett, Austin Hisco I'm thinking of specifically. And actually Sam Mullett, dripping sweat. He'll come off right now, and it's Kyle Fisher coming into the game.
Well, it's a big difference. Nashua South with a lot deeper of a rotation. Agor outplay. Amigo we haven't seen much of in the second half. Medling, Mercado, Moody, Ntenji. I mean, they've got a lot of guys, a lot of bodies that they've been logging minimal minutes.
Yeah, there's going to be some natural fatigue involved in a game like this if you're going to play every single minute. Begley, though, still out there. Giannis Ntenji
Good
gets
move.
fouled. Yeah.
Drive to the basket. Something's going to happen.
And Giannis Ntenji is a guy who has not played as many minutes as you would expect, so he's someone who I would expect to be fresh. We saw Hisco with the big run in the first half. Fatigue starting to settle in as he looks a bit tired and starting to slow down. But Giannis starting to pick up the tempo and the offensive load as well.
But still, if you're Nashua South, you're happy now because a 15-point lead is down to 9. You've cut 6 points off that lead before the fourth quarter has started.
Ntenji misses a free throw. The door is still open for South to go on some sort of a run here, to continue a run to maybe make this a close game again. Giannis hits his second free throw. It's a 10-point game.
And Daryl Yepto checking in for the first time. He'll guard Ntenji here.
Let's see.
Ivan
Last shot.
Ntenji, 3 seconds to go. He tried to pass it, and that'll do it.
Yeah, what you want to do here is you want to move it around the perimeter and get a good shot rather than try to force the ball in traffic. That doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
Because you're rushing.
Right.
Everything is a rush.
A little desperation involved there, and it yields no shot opportunity.
Doesn't help at all.
So we go to the fourth quarter of play, and despite the fact it's a 10-point game, because of that momentum swing that we witnessed, There is a chance that this could be a lot closer finish than the score currently indicates.
And I think Nashua South has every advantage that they need to make that comeback. They've got the fresh talent, a lot of guys really rotating in and out. They've got the home court advantage. The crowd, we heard them get into it there in the third quarter more than they had. And they've got guys like Nintenji and Agor who are coming into the fourth quarter on a bit of a run, feeling themselves and feeling that shooting touch. For Nintenji at 5'8", the shortest player on the team, driving in. He's got no problem going down low.
And correct me, but I think Clay Medling has had a bit of a rest.
Yeah, he has not played that much.
Yeah.
But
that's because with him on the floor, you know, first of all,
he's coming back out there now.
Just remember one thing, guys.
Yeah.
It's very stuffy in this gym tonight.
It
is. It's very warm outside.
It's shades of the old Boston Garden in here.
It's very warm outside, so that is causing a lot of the difficulty that you see.
Yeah.
You've got to use a lot of players because guys are getting tired.
And on that note, I believe John Begley is not out there for BG. He's taken a rest. The key player underneath the basket for Guertin, who did a good job of shutting down Medling in many situations, is not out there. So Medling may be trying to exploit a mismatch here. Amigo for three, left it short, rebound, fought for underneath, and BG falling on it. Jump ball, Kyle Fisher sacrificing the body underneath the pile, but of course, who else would be down there but Tyler Bernard, and it is BG ball on the arrow, or the towel, as you pointed out, as they're keeping track of the jump ball possessions by keeping both arrows lit. And they're using a towel on the court right now because of that diving play by Bernard and by Fisher. See who South has coming in. It's Raz Alcalay. Some more size on the court at 6'5". The senior center. Clay Medling actually just checking back out of the game. Full court press. Sam Mullet with it. Double teamed and pickpocketed. Here comes Amigo, and Amigo gets erased.
I would call that a flagrant.
Yeah, that looked too aggressive. It was not a basketball play.
He wasn't trying to hurt him, but he was just trying to prevent him from taking the shot, which really didn't need to be done. Let him take the shot.
I'll tell you this, it's a good thing Amigo didn't leave his feet.
Yeah, he would have been sent flying. And,
Yeah,
there's a difference between getting on top of a guy and trying to strip the ball, and he went straight to the body. He went for the push there. So I'm with you, Tom. It could have gone either way, but this is a big opportunity for Nashua South. With this free throw right there, it brings them back to within single digits. The momentum starting to swing back.
Alex Amigo calmly hit that first free throw, and it is in and out. Rebound Fontanella with Bernard all over him. Able to get it to Fisher and across midcourt in the corner. Lucier. The scoring pace has slowed down remarkably for Bishop Guertin here in the last several minutes. South has really ratcheted up the defensive pressure. Giannis Nintenji going to work. Throws it in the corner. Lucier lost the handle for a second, lost any chance he had to go right up with a three. Fontanella double teamed, looking for somebody. Davis Camacho could just shoot it from there, but he elects not to. Through traffic, Lucier ran out of real estate.
Good job by Alcalay to stay on him, and a good job at the end to fight through it.
Alcalay making an impact after that substitution by Coach Mazarol. Mercado from distance, in and out.
I'll see if he hits those, it's a game changer.
Real big miss there. Bernard's going after it. Saw Lucier in his headlights.
When you're trailing like that, if you hit those, it's a game changer. If you miss it, it could be another game changer the other way.
Yeah. Bishop Guertin trying to hang on at the moment. They really haven't had a good look at the basket for a shooter in a while. Camacho could have shot that. They've kind of gotten a little timid about shooting the basketball.
It's because there's no Austin Hisco out there.
Yeah.
He's been the aggressor both offensively and defensively for this Cardinals
And
team.
see, they don't have, other than Nintenji.
Nintenji is, Giannis is probably the only one that's willing to shoot the ball right now.
Well, see, they don't have a post-up game. That's the key. You get a post-up game, you don't worry about that.
Lucier's going to launch, and he hits!
My!
Wow.
He took that in one fell swoop, one motion with the ball and up.
He took that out of his hip holster.
Oh, my goodness.
Mercado, Lucier steals it. Travel, though. Wow, what a sequence for Andrew Lucier, the freshman with the three-pointer and the steal, but then he traveled.
And Mercado had an open opportunity to find a pass. It was...
And you know what? It's a 12-point lead again for BG. Even though it looked like they were, on the wrong end of a momentum swing, they still are up by a dozen. And they force a turnover as the ball's thrown over Clay Medling's head, and that's hard to do.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of places you can put a ball that Clayton Medling cannot reach it, and somehow Sean Holland, we know how strong his arm is, he found a way to do so.
Yeah. So, South expending so much energy to try to get back even with BG, and Davis Camacho has it. The ball and a 12-point lead for the Cardinals with 5.5 minutes left. Steal. South's defense pays off there. And losing the handle, Agor got to Amigo. Sean Holland thought about a three. Medling has it. Alex Amigo lost his footing, but he kept the dribble alive. Tony Agor, a stop and start. Giannis, Nintenji nearly picked his pocket.
They're going to foul off the ball.
A knee against Kyle Fisher. Kyle's asking what the call was about there. And it's a non-shooting foul anyway. Actually, BG's in the penalty right now. That's going to put him at the line.
So that'll be huge for Nashua South. And we got a timeout on the floor, but for Nashua South, you may as well drive it, and Alex Amigo is going to be the biggest difference maker here. If he can drive the ball down low, him or Agor, and either dish it out to Holland or Medling, or try and just draw a foul. Mercado is going to be the guy to look for the outside on the drive and dish attempt. I expect to see Amigo and Agor really attacking the basket here late.
Richie Mercado is at the free throw line for the Panthers, needing these free throws. His team's down by 12 with just over 5 minutes left in the game, and he makes the first one. The South student body, the fans, are still in this game on their feet. In the background of your picture as Richie Mercado tries to hit both free throws, and he does. Perfect form. He was back to a 10-point game.
Mercado was 5 for 6 in the first half, so that's a guy who you want to get to the line.
Yeah. In the corner, Lucier open for a second. Oigor harassing him.
Nice pass. What a beautiful pass.
Tommy Fontanella on the feed from Andrew Lucier, and back to a dozen. 57-45. Mercado faked himself out.
Yeah, thought about cutting it back to the inside. He's done a good job of working around the screen set by Medling, trying to do a little bit too much there and just trying to do it too quick. You got to make sure you finish the one move before you get going on the other one, and you see why there.
So Coach Masro is going to get Richie Mercado a breather here. Just under 5 minutes to go. Long pass corralled by Lucier. Good catch. Giannis Nintenji with the catch and shoot, no good. Medling above the field, but Giannis Nintenji, what a play, but he stepped out. He ends up off screen left.
Even resetting the chair, how about that?
Almost.
Exit, stage
Almost.
left. Even. Giannis Nintenji with great hustle.
Now see, man, Regan's, he's very tense right now as he's watching this game.
Yeah.
Doesn't want his team
not taking
to
anything
get out of
granted.
control, That's a tough one. That could have gone anywhere.
And in terms of the fouls that have and have not been called,
it could have gone either way.
That is one that has been unprecedented, to where there was not a lot of contact there. Could have gotten away with a no call, and it was a late whistle.
Yeah.
57-45, 4:31 left to play in the ball game.
Bishop Guertin's been keeping South at arm's length for most of this second half. They just a great effort by South to try to make a close game of it again, but
yeah, but you know what?
BG finding a way.
You're down 12 with 4.5 minutes to go. You got to hit every free throw.
Yeah,
every point matters at this stage.
Everything matters right now.
And you got to come up with some more turnovers on defense. Amigo hits the second. It's an 11-point contest.
And with Hisco back in the game, one open three from him could change the entire outcome of this game. Could clinch it.
Bad news for South is John Begley is back in the game. Number 14 for the Cardinals, who's played great. Bounce past Fontanella.
Begley's long.
Nintenji, I thought he was going to jam it.
See, what Begley does is he's long.
Yeah.
He's built and he's long.
You reminded me of Dave Cowens, I said.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But he's got good reach. See the space he took up in the middle?
Right.
He changed that whole play in the middle.
And he's got it on the trail. In the corner, Lucier's wide open. He'll say thank you very much. And South says thank you for missing. Ivan Nintenji with it. Almost a no-look pass underneath. Tyler Bernard gets assaulted.
Yeah, I like it when Bernard gets the ball.
In the combat zone.
I think Bernard
underneath.
makes a lot of things happen. I'd love to see him touch the ball more.
And he does a lot of different things because he's not the number 1 or 2 look really
He's
anytime down the court. And he finds ways to get to the basket. Not a premier shooter, but he finds ways to get near the rim and make things happen.
Just a huge spark.
Apparently he did not get, for Christmas, he did not get a mouth guard that fits, though.
They never do.
I think Holland's had his outside his mouth the whole game.
Yeah,
He's chewing on
it. They just gnaw on it, you know.
I've got so many photos of those kids with their mouths, you know, with the mouth guards out. So.
It actually looks like scuba gear.
Yeah, for some of these guys.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's the new thing. Mouth guards with oxygen tank included.
Well, have you seen the new football ones where it comes out of the mouth and it's got the animations or whatever on the front? It's got like the teeth or the team name on it.
Oh yes, yeah.
Some of the big running back
taking
ones.
a page out of the goalie masks.
I'm surprised we don't see that more often in basketball. A little bit more flair.
Right. Probably LeVar Ball will come up with that.
No, of course. Yeah, the big baller brand branded.
You know, I know what the NBA coaches kind of meant what they were saying. The way that you can't do it because you don't want to censor anything. But really, why is everybody giving this guy a platform?
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. That's what
we've seen that phenomenon before. People undeserving of platforms.
That's what the NBA coaches really meant. Why are you letting this idiot who has what is he? He's
ratings,
not a coach.
you know
Yeah, but still, why?
Yeah, exactly. Like, who started it?
You know?
Yeah.
Don't let the guy become what he's become.
Right.
You know, it's just he has no credibility. That's the thing. And someone said, "Oh, he's the parent. He's the parent of an NBA player. Sure, he's got credibility." No, he doesn't.
Tyler Bernard hits his free throw.
You know, when I covered the Pride, I'd get a couple mommies and daddies emailing me or whatever about how I wrote about their son.
Tyler Bernard.
I'm going, excuse me, they're not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're getting paid to play here.
Yeah, they're professionals.
Sorry.
You're getting that.
Sorry, I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah. But I was talking with Matt Neverett off the air about this phenomenon in 2018.
You talking about off the air? Do you really?
We did, yeah, while you were working
Yes.
hard on the computer here. About there's a lot of people that have undeserved platforms these days. On YouTube, on cable, you name it. It just comes with the territory these days.
It does.
How did that person get to be like somewhat listened to?
Well, in a country that made the Kardashian family famous, is that any surprise?
Ground zero.
Exactly.
Yes. Sean Holland looking for a teammate who is open, and that is Ivan Nintenji. 3:25 to go. Ivan runs out of room. Open look for Sean Holland, and it won't go. Tony Agor with it. Back up top, Sean, one-touch pass, gets a return, swings it. Agor will shoot it for three, left it short. Holland crashing the boards. Agor with his own miss. Mercado, nice save, catch, shoot. Oh, in and out. Agor, spectacular.
That's what you need. You need that athleticism to take hold.
And with all that, South still down by 10, under 3 minutes to go. Giannis Nintenji with the stop and go. John Begley smartly just holding it. His valuable seconds come off the clock. Holland goes out trying to steal it away. Holland switches off onto Giannis.
So now see, if you're BG, do you be deliberate and take time off the clock? Or does that take you out of your game? I say you start to whittle it down, but then again.
Great pass from Begley, but Giannis Tenji steals it away and puts it in. That's a dagger.
Took it away from Holland.
It could have been maybe an 8-point game. Instead, back to a dozen in the lead. Giannis Nintenji making an impact here late. You think about it, if South takes the ball down, they're only down by single digits by 8 points if they score. Instead, Nintenji steals it back, gets the basket, unassisted, gives his team a 12-point lead back with just over 2 minutes to go, and you think, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight for South.
I think to answer your question from earlier, Tom, I think that it is at the stage with about 2 minutes left, just over 2 minutes, to where a 10-point lead, 2 minutes to go, that's when you're going to start holding. You're not really worried about your offensive flow.
Right, exactly.
Especially when guys are making plays like that.
Oh, my.
Giannis Nintenji just icing this game.
Yeah.
He got the pass from Begley, and he just skied. He was above rim level when he got fouled, and the ball goes in. And BG, even though there's 2:07 to go, just about cementing their victory with this potential 3-point play for Giannis Nintenji of Bishop Guertin. A lot of excitement coming up on NashuaETV. Battle of the Bridge sports, all kinds of sports coming up this month. We have track, skiing, ice hockey, unified basketball, swimming and diving, gymnastics, wrestling, basketball, and the teams, the schools unifying for the Penguin Plunge at Hampton Beach on February 3rd. That one we're not covering, I don't believe.
Unless Tom wants to do it.
Tom's going to be too busy jumping in the water. He can't be writing or taking photos on that day.
I don't do indoor.
What? No, name your price. Name your price. What would it be?
$1 million.
What?
I think we can somehow come up with that. I think
That's outrageous.
$1 million.
I would do it for a lot less than that.
$1 million, I'll do it. You said name my price. What do you think?
You did.
What, I'm going to name something low?
you gave him that liberty.
I'm just saying,
You gave me the
realistically. Who do you think's watching this? Jeff Bezos, the birthday boy from Amazon?
And here we go. They're going to park the bus. They're going to slow it down here. It's at the stage now with under 2 minutes and a 14-point lead. You're not worried about that offensive flow.
Yeah.
Just in case Tyler Bernard, you didn't know that Tyler wanted to commit a foul. Extra shove.
And Nate Mazerol telling him, go for the ball, go for the arm, don't go for the body, don't make it
Yeah,
obvious.
if you're going to burn a foul, make it like almost productive.
You want to give it a look because, you know, who knows, you could get lucky and strip the ball. But if you go for the body, you're giving up that opportunity.
Totally, yeah. Austin Hisco comes out of the game.
He'll be
with
done.
some high fives. A great game he has had. In and out on the free throw by Fontanella. Rebound, Clay Medling. And here's Richie Mercado near sideline. Going to work, stop and go, lost it. It's been that kind of night for Nashua High South.
I spoke too soon. Here comes Hisco back into the game.
Yeah, that was a brief sit down. John Begley will inbound it to Andrew Lucier. Mercado immediately fouls him with 1:34 to go in a 14-point game.
And that'll put him in the bonus now. Nashua South with 17 fouls. And I think once we
But
get
again, look how long it took.
Yeah, there we go. I think once we get under a minute, that's when we'll start. That's when we'll stop rather seeing these fouls. But until that point, they're going to try and stay in this game.
So they didn't need a lot of Hisco in the second half. That was surprising. They got other people involved.
Yeah.
Which, really worked.
South had 27 at the half.
All right, so a BG sweep at the Belanger Gym.
So South has scored 23 points in this second half, and BG has scored 30. Make it 31. So a dominant performance by BG girls and boys basketball here on the foggy Friday, January 12th. Clay Medling.
Oh, it's going to be really foggy when we go back out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Heavy rain. We can hear it on the roof in between games. Pete said, listen to it. Pete Johnson, our producer, executive producer. And sure enough, it was.
To the line goes Andrew Lucier. So what is that game that's up to 80,000 views on YouTube?
That's a
You did it with Jason
junior
Roby.
high championship game, tournament championship game, city championship.
Oh,
they get the
junior
four.
high.
They
So
get the 4 junior
Elm
highs
Street,
that
or-
play. They
oh.
play at one of the schools.
Okay,
Last
yeah,
year it was
yeah.
at North,
Right.
and I believe this year it'll be at South.
Is that Monday?
No, they play it.
Oh, it's
it'll
later.
It'll be a week from Saturday. It'll be on the January 20th.
Okay. Why do they play so early in what is the high school season, January 20? Clay Medling puts it in.
Well, it's when they
Good
get
luck.
the junior highs to play it
Is that when they?
outside of their own league.
Oh, because their league continues.
yeah,
And
it's
the
a city.
season-
It's a city championship
Oh, it's for
event.
pride. It's a big
Yeah, it's
deal.
a-
Yeah. Yeah.
No fouls here from Nashua South.
Now, with 47 seconds left, you're down 15. I don't think there's much of a chance.
Yeah.
Right. So 40 seconds left to go, and the
That'll
crowd
do
now
it.
recognizing that. Agor with the steal. South trying to add to their total before the game ends, and Giannis Nintenji, actually that is a
That's
bench
Yepto.
player.
Daryl Yepto, and he's been checking in and out with Hisco, and we'll see them switch here as Hisco waiting at the table to check back in. Joe Noon also getting set to check into the game for the first time, the 6'2" junior guard.
Daryl Yepto, the freshman, spells the last name Y-E-P-D-O. And that is Tony Agor at the line for South.
And like I predicted, Yepto out, Hisco in, then that should
Yeah.
finish it out. Fontanelle also will have a seat on the bench.
Tommy Fontanello, who played a fine game for the Cardinals. Impressive team effort by BGs. You mentioned the individual athleticism that South possesses. They didn't quite gel the way we saw Bishop Guertin get contributions from so many different players.
And even when Hisco was on that big run where he scored 10 out of his 12 points in about a minute and a half, it was the other guys, you know, Nintenji, Mullet, Fontanella really picking up the tempo when he was down and on the bench.
John Begley, who's been displaying a high basketball IQ here. You might imagine that a senior would have that anyway, but is especially sharp in this Friday of Martin Luther King Day weekend game, and that will do it. 2 seconds, one. A 67-54 victory. Bishop Guertin boys basketball over South is a girls and boys sweep for the Cardinals here on South's home court.
I'll tell you what, John, that first one, we probably could have predicted from the start of the game, the girls' game, how that was going to finish out. But I did not see a 13-point victory in this Bishop Guertin team when they were warming up. Even in the first couple minutes of the game, we were just kind of waiting for Nashua South to wake up, and they never really did. Defensively, the pressure was all placed by Bishop Guertin. It was, you know, they controlled the tempo of the game. They went on the big runs. Nashua South not able to get the runs that the Cardinals did.
Well, from the steamy gym, you'll be going back to the cold hockey rink somewhere along the way here. Matt Neverett, thank you very much. Another great job. John Collins for Tom King, our cameraman Frank Wallant, and our executive producer, Pete Johnson. Thanking you for watching this NashuaETV telecast. 67-54, the boys of BG get the victory over South. Good evening from Nashua High South, everybody.